Yoga. Yoga itself is a word from an ancient Eastern language called Sanskrit, and yoga means yoke. And it's talk about unequally yoked. When you're in yoga, you're being yoked to their Hindu creator god Brahma. And I get all kinds of pushback for this, Dwan, and I know you might too for me even saying this, because people will say, but I go to holy yoga, and we don't yoke. Yeah, we don't worship Hindu gods. We're stretching. And the thing is that stretching is a good idea. I mean, it is natural, it's healthful. I stretch every night before I go to bed. But yoga poses are very precise. And there's a series of yoga poses called sun salutation that even the so-called Christian yoga practices involve. And it's about standing up and opening your arms and saluting the sun, which is, of course, Romans 1 says we're not to worship the creation, but the creator, right? We're told in the Bible to glorify God in everything we do. And Paul says twice to glorify God with our bodies. Now, let me just say this. This is kind of shocking truth. There's a pose in the sun salutation series called warrior. And there's 3 versions, warrior 1, 2, and 3. In Sanskrit, it's called Virabhadrasana. And asana means pose. And it is the pose of Virabhadras, who's a Hindu warrior demon who was a murderer. And so when you're doing warrior 1, 2, and 3, you're acting out a Hindu murder scene with your body that's supposed to glorify God. How could that glorify God when you're acting as if you're Virabhadras, who's a demon? That's impossible. And so I still get pushback from people. I'm not thinking of murder. I'm not thinking of Hindu gods. I'm listening to worship music, and we're saying scriptures. We're doing this. Well, that's rebelliousness, you guys. That's absolute rebelliousness. And the Bible says that we are not to drink at the same table as demons. And that's what we're doing with yoga. There's ways to stretch that do not involve the sun salutation series, that do not involve taking your body and mimicking Hindu deities or animals, which almost every yoga pose is. I mean, think about Shavasana, which is the end of a yoga practice where you're laying down. It's kind of like in kindergarten, we took naps. And Shavasana means corpse pose, dead person pose. And during that time, the yoga instructor usually guides you through a meditation. And in a secular yoga class, they have you say Sanskrit, such as Om, which is a heretical statement that about the universe, or Namaste, which is even worse, which is saying that God within me recognizes and honors the God within you, small g God. And so it's polytheism. And so I would not step on a yoga mat no matter what you paid me today. It's absolute blasphemy. It's not glorifying a God, and it violates the first and second commandment. We shall have no other gods before me, and no graven images. You're making your body a graven image if you are doing yoga poses. The other thing to know is that you can't redeem a pagan practice. If I said, here's my Ouija board, which everyone knows a Ouija board is satanic. Even New Agers won't touch it. And I said, but look, I pasted Bible verses on my Ouija board. And look, I'm playing the Psalms to music while I'm using my Ouija board. So it's a Christian Ouija board. You guys would all laugh at me, but it's the same thing.